旧校舎に出るっていう噂。
明けない夜数えながら過ぎ去った日思い続けた巡る夢の中消えてゆく影星溢れる次の願い尽きることない後悔の果て渡れるまま愚かな花散る包まれ息吹く永遠の闇冷たすぎてもがくだけの巡りよ枯れないで私たちは美しいまま踊ろうよ
Welcome back to Higanbana no Saku Yoru. Last time we checked out chapter 2, which was the spirit camera. So this time let's check out chapter 3, the princess's lie. I'm going to guess that this one has a female protagonist, but I don't know, I could be wrong. I am feeling a little bit ill. Blame the cold weather that's going around or the flu virus that's going around. I don't think it's the big C. I don't feel that ill, but I do have a bit of a sore throat, which is going to be great for this, isn't it? Whatever. As always, if you're of a sensitive disposition, please leave now. And oh god, I need to check the volume all over again. God, does this like to just always do that? Indeed. But it seems to be okay. Oh shoot, I've already missed the first sentence. Right. As I opened the door, everyone in the class turned around to look at me as usual. Good morning, everyone. And with my greeting, I was met with everyone's wide smiles. They showed feelings of affection, respect, and desire. Although I might not be aware of it, I'm enveloped with a sense of superiority from the moment I step through that classroom door every morning. Good morning, Midori. Good morning. Good morning, Princess Midori. Oh boy, they've even added a tilde. Good morning. Stop with the princess, alright? Everyone lovingly refers to me as Princess. When they call me that, it makes me feel different than the rest, and just a tad alienated. But it's not like anyone has any ill will in warmly referring to me like that, so even though it's a bit embarrassing to admit it, I'm starting to accept that nickname. This girl's name is Midori Kusunoki. Okay. Right. Kusunoki Midori, yeah. Her classmates have lovingly given her the pet name Princess. She was the princess of this class. Good morning, Princess. Sakie from the seat next to me was greeting me. She might have intended to express a calm voice, but her voice seemed a bit nervous. Oh, good morning, Sakie. Sakie's face suddenly brightened up when I called her name. I intended to be really casual, but my friends were being far too humble. I see you have a lovely dress this morning as well. Wait, is that Sakie? God damn it, it's Sakie. Here's the problem with Ryukishi novels. You never know who's talking at time. Well, from time to time, not always, but yeah. You have some real fashion sense, Midori. Thank you. I begged Mum for this. It became my favorite when she bought it for me. If you want, I'll let you have it next time. You're just gonna give your dress away? Okay. Really? I'd be happy, but I can't do that. No. I think even this dress that you complimented as lovely would be happy if I let you wear it, Sakie. I don't know why these eyes are sort of fading into the background for me. But that's not it. It's lovely because a princess is wearing it. For someone like me to wear something like that, I can't do it. I can't. Sakie politely and nervously declines. Midori was a child from a wealthy household, so she had lots of beautiful Western-style dresses. Although receiving the princess's clothes and the like might have made Sakie really happy, it also filled her with anxiety. Sakie really couldn't take her clothes. Maybe these long sleeves are a bit too long for this season, but even in the summer, I have to wear long sleeves or else my skin will get sunburned really quick. With your porcelain white skin, you have to be sure to keep those sleeves in mind, Princess Midori. Thank you. But Sakie, your skin is also fair. No way. You're too nice. Too nice. Oh, did you do your Japanese homework? Maybe it was because Midori complimented how fair her skin was, but Sakie had turned bright red. And so, without any rhyme or reason, she changed the topic to Japanese homework. Japanese homework? Oh no, that was due today? I was up late last night memorizing my lines, so I completely forgot about the homework. Ah, then if you'd like, you can copy mine. Can I? It must be hard for you to memorize those stage lines. I'll let you copy it, cause it's the neighborly thing to do. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this chapter. Sakie opened her own notebook, and it was respectfully handed it over as if it was a diploma. Thank you. I'm really happy that we're friends, Sakie. Oh no, this is all too much. Even Sakie's ears turned bright red as she grinned in embarrassment. After all, no one in this class had the honor of being called Princess Midori's friend. Good morning, Midori. Fumie finally showed up just before class was about to start. Just like Sakie, Fumie was one of Princess Midori's followers. Hey, did you see this month's chapter of Sea Cats? Sea Cats is a reference to Umineko. Umineko no Nakukoroni being another work by 7th Expansion and Ryukishio 7. Yep, it was awesome, right? I felt it was a dramatic development. Yeah. Sea Cats is a popular serialized manga in this class. Its rather dark themes are seen as a bit of a problem by the parents and the school. However, the majority of students in this class are reading it behind closed doors. Ah, right. Of course, as one of those fans, Midori doesn't miss a chapter and buys one every month. It seems like there's going to be an anime starting next month too. I'm so excited. Oh, is that... I thought that was Midori... Whatever. Oh, is that true? I didn't know. What? Midori, you didn't know? Fumie shouted hysterically in astonishment and delight. Do you know, if I get to see what these characters look like, I'll give them appropriate voices. Until then, I'm just going to give generic voices to these characters. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to give them voices anymore. I'm just going to use my usual narration tones. Her delight was because of the new gossip she had to share with Princess Midori. But this was a service from Midori. Truthfully, she had already read that an anime adaptation was being made. By pretending that she hadn't heard about it before, she was letting Fumie feel happy. It wasn't as if she was just being doted on. By spreading a bit of goodwill to those around her, she was being modestly considerate of others. Fumie was happily given an explanation after explanation about the anime version they hadn't heard about. From who the main characters' voice actors were, to what studio was in charge of it and who was directing it. Fumie might have been happy, perhaps even honored, to talk to Midori like that. That's neat. But since it starts after drama club practice, watching it every week would be hard to do. It's on pretty late at night, isn't it? Oh, but just tell me if you can't watch it, okay? I'll record it for you. Thank you, Fumie. I'm truly happy you're my friend. Of course. We're friends after all, right? Fumie blushed, just like Sakie, because no other blushing girl in this class had ever received words of gratitude from Midori. Midori Kusunoki, the girl called Princess who every girl in the class swooned over. She lived a completely satisfying school life without any insecurities. And just as always, I can't wait to see how this goes wrong. Hey, Princess. That girl is looking over here again. Sakie, who was letting me copy a paper, whispered to me. That girl. I followed Sakie's uncomfortable glare towards the back of the classroom. Just as Sakie had said, I noticed Nozomi Kawada was staring over this way. Seriously, I have a bad feeling about that girl. She's always staring at the princess. She's just jealous of Midori. In her last class, it seems she was treated like a princess. Sakie and Fumie scowled and whispered. Evidently, Nozomi Kawada was also a child of a wealthy household. However, she was receiving the exact opposite treatment that Midori had. Nozomi took pride in her family's wealth and flaunted it. But Midori wasn't boastful, and she was kind to everyone. Naturally, Midori was called Princess and adored by everyone. On the other hand, now Nozomi was almost completely ignored by the girls in class, or rather, she was being bullied. In last year's class, it seems she was pampered and portrayed as the pridefully rich princess. She has the complete opposite treatment this year, and the seat she once occupied as princess now belonged to Midori. Undoubtedly, she felt jealous, and being jealous was all she could do. Since that was clear to Sakie and Fumie, they returned her sharply unpleasant glare. If I thought I was called Princess, I wouldn't like it if Midori was called that. Yeah, Midori is a different princess of a different caliber than her, though. Just how long does she intend to keep staring at her? I know, right? Midori is probably uncomfortable too. Perhaps I should go talk to her. With a scary look on her face, Fumie stood up from her chair with a crack, as if wordlessly implying she wouldn't lose to her as Midori's loyal retainer. Sakie quickly stood up as well. I'm getting hints of a Joe-sama complex in this. Stop it, the both of you. Every day, someone in class said terrible things about Nozomi or played terrible pranks on her. Who knows what kind of abuse she has suffered today alone. On a morning like this, Midori didn't want to see the bullying start so soon. So soon. You're not denying that you're going to enjoy some bullying later on then. Sakie and Fumie were staring at Nozomi with an explosive tension. Hey you, just who do you think you're staring at anyway? If you've got a problem, then say it. I'm listening. If Nozomi replied back with a single word, they might use that as an excuse to end it. Since Nozomi understood that, she didn't say a single word. No, she didn't reply at all. Stop it, the both of you! Midori shouted a bit when she spoke. Her loyal subjects jumped with surprise at the loud voice of their beloved princess. I don't want to see any bullying this morning, so stop it, alright? Princess. Kawada, next time you stare at her, there'll be no mercy, alright? At least for now, they've settled down. But it doesn't change the fact that Nozomi Kawada is still hated and bullied during class. After hearing Midori say she didn't want to see any bullying, the classmates didn't do any bullying for a while. At least not in front of her. Of course, that doesn't mean the bullying stopped. Midori thought it was unfortunate that she couldn't save Nozomi. She also believed she should stand up for her. But in reality, Nozomi Kawada was arrogant and took pride in her family's wealth. Even now, if they let her speak up, Nozomi's pride made her want to look down on Midori. Even Midori realized the irrationality of this world. No matter how friendly you are to them, there are people you cannot get along with in this world. Nozomi Kawada was one of them. It's because of the bullying against her, which might have been cruel, but all she could do was see it or pretend not to see it. After all, Midori thought that if Nozomi wanted protection, she didn't want to be protected by her. I'm sorry. Midori apologized from her heart, but if I were to say that, it would be pitiful, and yet, after all, everyone likes me, tries hard to support me, and is concerned for me. Kawada-san would be fine if only she would too. But why doesn't she? She brags about her family's wealth, even though no one can sympathize. Last year's class might have spoiled her by letting her get away with that. However, it's not like anyone will praise someone for having pride in being a rich person. I think being picked on is unfortunate, but the sooner she realizes why she's being picked on, the sooner she can fix that problem herself. Aside from staring at me in class until now, this isn't really a simple matter. However, if she stopped bragging about being rich, then over time, everyone's attitude towards her would change. And if they slowly change their minds, she might even be able to make some friends. If she did that, then someday, I think she might stop being bullied. If she did that, then she might even become my friend. I believed that thought reached Nozomi. Once again, I turned my gaze back to Sakie's paper and proceeded to copy her homework. Oh god. Ow? What? Midori grimaced as she felt a sudden pain on her arm. It wasn't a pain from a bone, the throbbing of an old wound, or anything like that. It was more direct. It was as if an invisible man had struck her across the arm. Wondering what happened. Here we go. Wondering what happened, I looked around the room, but all that spread out before me was the scenery of an uneventful classroom. Sakie and Fumie were both having a friendly conversation. It's impossible for someone to just come by and hit me without those two noticing it. Before that, I was just finishing up my homework here like this. Does that mean someone was able to hit my arm without them noticing? I thought something might have flown and hit me, but it didn't really feel like that. First of all, even if something did, there was nothing rolling around to indicate that. What's wrong? Are you alright, Midori? When they took notice of me, Fumie and Sakie were looking at me with concern. Yeah, I'm fine. It's nothing. The bell sounded. Sakie and Fumie started getting ready for class. Ah, here we go. And I looked at my arm again. It must have been nothing. The truth is, this isn't the first time. Lately, something like this has been happening from time to time. Here we go, back to first person. Suddenly, I'll feel a pain somewhere on my body. There are times when I feel that something had to have touched me. And during those times, I've also felt a pain that sends me cowering. And like at that point too, like now, I'd feel it in my arm, in my stomach, in my back. It's not a specific place. From the beginning, I've thought about whether it's my imagination or something. But lately, I feel like those chance moments when I feel those mysterious pains are on the rise. Perhaps this could be, I don't know, some kind of really bad illness? If it's so severe, I'll be honest with my parents, and if they think I should, they'll certainly take me to get looked at in the hospital. Oh, black tea gentle... Pardon me? Oh, black tea gentleman. Just what kind of sickness is this? Sorry, is that the name of an ill... What is this? Black tea gentleman. I know that sound effect. When I muttered that in my own mind, a teacup appeared flying through the air. And then a teapot appeared floating in the air. And it poured ordinary black tea into the teacup. And then the figure of an elegant man taking a cup elegantly up to his lips slowly appeared. Oh my goodness. First of all, my immediate impression. What the fuck is all this shit? He's got an upside down cross. A key. Oh my god, that's a padlock on a choke. Oh, god damn it. I call this mysterious man the Black Tea Gentleman, because whenever he appears, he is always drinking black tea. In the middle of the classroom filled with idle chatter, in a strangely arranged tuxedo outfit, he was a strange gentleman standing and tasting his tea. You know what? I'm going to swap back to my normal voice. I think I'll refer to her inner thoughts with my normal voice as well, and just use her dialogue with her voice. Because I'm a guy. Doing girls' voices for extended periods of time, especially with this throat, is strenuous. Of course, I was the only one who could see him. Well, let's give him a voice. This Assam tea smells wonderful this morning, wouldn't you say? Oh my, whatever is the matter? Lately, I've been getting these sudden pains. Oh my, do you think it's bad enough that it will interfere with your practice? It's not that bad, but it always suddenly frightens me, and there's something weird about it. Well, then it's nothing to worry about. The Black Tea Gentleman said this indifferently. Is it all right not to worry about it? Yes. Anyway, now isn't really the time to be worrying about that, is it? Don't you have an extremely important role in the upcoming play? Yes, and I have so many lines to remember, it's quite difficult. Then shouldn't you focus your time on that? I think worrying about other things just shows you're losing your focus, wouldn't you? I thought that said, wouldn't you essay for a second? Wouldn't you say? When he said that, I didn't respond. This upcoming role I want to play in the drama club is an extremely important role. This role was so important that if I were to mess it up, the entire play would be ruined. Maybe that kind of pressure caused me to feel some kind of imaginary pain. Perhaps I'm just feeling occasional pains in my chest from the stress. You're right. It bothers me, but I suppose I have no choice, right? That's how it is, you see. Don't worry about it. He kept saying not to worry about it, and the pain in my arm was already fading away. And so did he. When I agreed with him, the Black Tea Gentleman disappeared. He's probably not human. Then what is he? A monster? A yōkai? There's no reason to think too much about his real identity. He is the Black Tea Gentleman, a mysterious figure who revealed himself to me. And he brought me a new life from who I once was. What? When I went to the drama club room after school, things were already underway. Under the direction of the club president, everyone was performing stretching exercises with enthusiasm. I'm sorry, I'm late. As I enter the room, everyone stops what they're doing and looks at me. Adoration, admiration. They were improper glances to give to someone who was late. Hey, keep stretching. The club president clapped his hands. Even he had been enchanted by Midori for an instant. Kusunoki, you've been late a lot lately. Sorry, I had some trouble getting changed. I'll be more careful in the future, I said with a smile, and as the club president realized what that meant, he turned red and looked away in embarrassment. Well, I'm sure you'll be fine as long as you're more careful. Our upperclassman club president got along well with the teachers and was very popular among the girls at school. But even someone like him would show Midori a smile like that. The princess of the classroom was even a princess in the drama club. No, perhaps it makes more sense the other way around. Because she was the princess in the drama club, she was a princess in the classroom. She is called princess because she shines beautifully on stage. And she is loved by students from other classes and even different grades. As Midori went looking for a place to stretch, the other club members made way in response, as if she were passing through the audience to the stage. Thank you. As she smiled and thanked them, everyone shyly looked away. It was exactly as if even flowers would blush with just a smile from Princess Midori. Our school drama club had a lot of members, and although it was a cultural club, it was completely sport-oriented. Everyone changes into gym outfits during club hours. To improve our endurance, we run around the school, or we head down to the riverbed and practice shouting to exercise our vocal cords. Do you know what? I need to exercise my vocal cords. It's almost like the world in Glass Mask. Fuck, I'm gonna have to look that up. And now, it has become a tradition to have a performance at the end of every semester, where we act in front of all the students in school on stage. Today is that very important day where the roles of the performance will be decided. It was as if all the club members were overflowing with excitement. Basically, when it came to casting the play, members would start calling out the part they wanted to play. And if the advising teacher and club president saw no problems, then it was decided on the spot. When 2 or more people wanted the same role, they would audition in front of everyone. This time, the play we are performing will be the classic Rokkenjima. Rokkenjima being the location where the story of Umineko took place. It's a mysterious play that is like a fantasy, but also like a mystery. Since there is some very difficult content to work with, if the actors don't understand the emotions they have to portray, then they cannot transmit the message of the story. It's a really difficult play, but our advising teacher has chosen this as a challenge for us. The leading role of the witch is no ordinary role, and it requires real acting ability. Oh, so you're going to be Beatrice. Okay. But I want to make that role mine. This play and this role. If I can do it, I want to realize the expectations of the teacher who believed in me. The leading actress has to be Midori-san. Obviously, she's the only one who can play the role of the witch. That witch was also the protagonist of this play. There are other characters that are introduced, but it quickly turns into a one-woman show, and the perfection of the play hinges upon the acting ability of the one playing the witch. The club members whispered amongst themselves that no one else except Midori could fit the role. And it was most likely that no one else would announce their candidacy for the role of the witch. To suggest that someone would compete with her on acting ability was beyond absurd. What was that girl's name? Nozomi? Midori Kusunoki was more than a princess in the drama club. She resembled a queen. Of course, she wasn't so naive as to think she would automatically be given the part of the witch. She also knew that her teacher had chosen this play specifically to test her acting abilities. After all, he had been giving her lessons on the role of the witch for ages now, in preparation for today. The teacher was staring intensely at Midori. It was a look as if to say, "Magnificent! Now make the role of the witch your own." If for some reason Midori didn't prove to be a very good witch, he might have even intended on cancelling the play altogether. In other words, the play Rokkenjima might as well have been chosen just for Midori's sake. Watch me, sensei. No matter what, I'll show you a fitting performance for the role of the witch. And then Midori's eyes filled with determination in response to her teacher. Unlike Midori, who was almost guaranteed to get the role, the other club members were still worried whether or not they would get their own parts so easily. What should I do if I don't get any of the parts? I would hate getting stuck doing the odd jobs. This play seems to have a lot of props and whatnot too. You shouldn't worry about that. I mean, look, there's a kid who'll do it all for us. Their eyes shifted to a corner of the clubroom. There was a single girl, isolated from everyone and doing her stretches. Of course, I knew it. It was Nozomi Kawada. Incidentally, she was also a member of the drama club. She was stretching out with her head down while everyone avoided making eye contact with her. Looking at her like that, all at once, the other club members started whispering, "Ugly! Disgusting!" Their voices extended out to Nozomi. There was no doubt that she heard what they were saying. And yet, she silently continued to stretch as if it didn't bother her at all. Perhaps she was silencing her thoughts and pretending not to hear. She wasn't just bullied in the classroom, but here as well. Midori felt sorry for her. It wasn't as if Nozomi was as ugly as everyone was slandering her out to be. On the contrary, her face made her seem beautiful. Rather than a smile prideful of her wealth, if she could smile from the bottom of her heart, then her face would surely shine even brighter. I too was once No, I'm carrying on my normal voice. I don't care if it's inner thoughts. I too was once ignorantly prideful of my family's wealth. Thankfully, I realized my arrogance and I changed my ways. If I hadn't done that, I would be Nozomi Kawada. Just as sometimes she's staring at me, sometimes I'm also staring at her. What are you daydreaming about? It's your turn. Oh, thank you. Oh, fuck. Oh, thank you. Fucking hell, I've completely fucked myself. The black tea gentleman appears and tells Midori that her time has come. And so have I. Walking towards the teacher, I would announce what role I want to play, and I would demonstrate that performance. Just a theory right now. I think Nozomi would probably be better suited to the role of Beatrice, because knowing what I know about Beatrice, the character from Umineko, and the events that took place on Rokkenshima, she's arrogant as fuck. So have the arrogant girl play the arrogant character. I mean, this girl's a little too sweet for it. As silence fell over the other club members sitting on the floor, I stood up, alone, and stepped forward. Kusunoki-san, what part do you want? The teacher asked. Without losing that self-confidence, with a strong nod, I replied. Midori Kusunoki, I want the role of the witch. Even though it was what everyone expected, they all let out low gasps. Splendid. Then how about you show us a performance? Complicated lines, complicated delivery, and a tender expression. He was asking to see the fruits of all my labors from so long ago up to this day. After being urged to perform by my teacher, I quietly began to focus. At that moment, that pain ran through me once again. Even now, at a time like this, again. This time it was my shoulder. Of course, it wasn't like anyone hit my shoulder or anything flew and hit it. But it was a pain as if I had suddenly been hit by something. Kusunoki, what's wrong? The club president called out. Oh, for fuck's sake. No, it's nothing. Hoping it would help ease my mind, I circled my arm around once. There wasn't any pain anymore. What's the matter? It's finally time to show them what you've been working for until today, you know? Even the black tea gentleman was cheering me on. Perhaps I'm just nervous. Or perhaps it's because I was too worried about Nozomi Kawada. She stirs my memory. When I look at her, it's as if I'm looking at myself before I was born again. As Midori was trying to perform the role of the witch, she remembered herself as she was during one semester. Flashback! Here we go. It was before I was born again. For me, that time was as far away as a past life. But in terms of time, it was a reminder of the semester from a mere 2 months ago. Even trying to remember is hazy, and the memory seems distant now. That Midori-chan, she's always so haughty. It's like she's showing off how rich she is, way too much. One of the female classmates suddenly pointed at Midori as she said that. The girl had good looks, excellent grades, and even popularity among her classmates. At the time, she stood far above me in terms of class hierarchy. That's right, it wasn't far in the distant past when I started being pampered with the name Princess. It started this semester. For me, this seems as far away as a past life, but in reality, it only happened just last semester. As that girl began to point, in a flash, my other classmates joined in. Oh god. Midori Kusunoki is an arrogant and rich snob. When that label stuck, for 3 days straight, the entire class all began to bully Midori. Those were painful days to remember. Her heart was crushed, and it didn't just cross her mind once or twice that she wanted to up and die. And that bullying just didn't stay in the class, but it also spread to the drama club. It even went so far as to affect her role in the performance at the time. She was made to perform only the unwanted work. Even her fellow club members that she got along with began to spread rumors about Midori. She was isolated both in the classroom and the clubroom. I was exactly like Nozomi Kawada is now. Oh, I get it. Because when I'm looking at her, it hurts. The scars in my heart from my past life. Then one day, I met him. That otherworldly man, the one known as the Black Tea Gentleman. That day, Midori was forced to do all of the odd jobs for the drama club. She was left in the clubroom after the sun went down, and she was making props for the play. As she was pasting silver paper on a cardboard sword, she thought, if only this was real. The girl who was the ringleader of Midori's bullying was the leading actress in the upcoming play. In the last scene, she would commit suicide by piercing her heart with this sword. In her dark imagination, she thought of seeing the gymnasium stage stained with the dark red blood. But that kind of thinking was beneath her, so she quickly corrected herself. When I joined the drama club, I wanted a moment in the spotlight up on the stage. Yet without any kind of role to play, I couldn't even go up on the stage. The only thing I'd been allowed to do until then was making props all by myself. I was sad, frustrated, but as I tried to remember, I felt I was paying for my mistakes. As I tried to remember back before I was labeled a rich, arrogant snob, I daydreamed sadly, alone. Even though I shed my tears, the work didn't end. Midori took a deep breath, and the smell of mold and paint in that gloomy clubroom passed through her nose. And yet, when she took another deep breath, Midori suddenly caught the wonderful smell of a sweet fragrance. It was something totally unfitting for a place like this. It was the smell of tea. I could do with some tea, actually. Might help my fucking throat. Without realizing it, suddenly Midori's eyes focused on a fixed location within the clubroom. In front of a closed window, a steaming teacup was floating. Yes, it was floating, dangling in the middle of the air. It might have been because she was exhausted from making all those props. Midori just stared blankly at that strange sight. She had to be seeing things. Being bullied every day into making props and exhausted both physically and mentally, Midori thought as much, because she wasn't even that shocked when that very teacup suddenly spoke. Continuing club activities until a time like this. You must be quite a dedicated young lady. It was the voice of a grown man. I couldn't tell if he was young or old, but it was a mysterious voice that seemed to resonate like an echo. I apologize. Did I scare you? No? Somehow it seems the channel to your mind has coincidentally met with my own wavelength. The teacup said as it moved about. I'm sorry, I just imagined a teacup floating and speaking to her. Gradually, I began to tell that it was as if an invisible man was holding the teacup in his hand. Then, as if coming into focus, the man who held the teacup began to appear. He was a man wearing a strange outfit arranged with a tuxedo. He didn't look like a teacher. Of course, he didn't look like a student either. But that eccentric attire seemed perfectly suited for the drama club. Oh my. It seems you can see all of me now. With a smile on his face, the mysterious man took another slurp of his tea. Good evening, young lady. Being dedicated to your club activities is good. But isn't it a bit too late for a girl like yourself to be out? That was the first time that Midori met the Black Tea Gentleman. The Black Tea Gentleman didn't offer to help her put together the props or anything like that. However, he did quietly listen to Midori tell her story while inclining his teacup by the window. You poor thing. Fuck me, he sounds like me. Being an outsider in your own classroom and even in the clubs is truly regrettable. Well, class, that's fine. I didn't really like school ever since the very beginning. So what's troubling you must be the drama club then. I really love drama. On the stage, I can become whatever I want. I can experience different worlds, different lives. Because I love that, I entered the drama club. And yet you're treated unreasonably. Even now you're being forced into making props. How regrettable. Midori stopped working, and she began to sob. She hadn't joined the drama club because she wanted to make props. She wanted to shine. She wanted to be showered with applause. Even if she were bullied in class, she could endure as long as she could, at least shine upon the stage. You poor thing. But this is also some kind of fate. Fate? There are hardly any humans who exist who can see us unless we wish it to be so. In other words, our meeting here is quite miraculous indeed. It certainly is a miracle. Meeting an otherworldly creature in one's life is by no means ordinary. Now is your long-awaited chance. With my power, allow me to make your dream come true. My dream? No matter how much you might be bullied in class, as long as you can shine up on the stage, you said you'd be happy. As a drama club member, that is truly an admirable spirit. As a token of my respect, your one fuck me, I skipped a line. As a token of my respect, allow me to grant your one dream, your one wish. When he said that, the man quickly raised his left hand. Then from the corners of the room, countless packed cardboard boxes filled with scripts gently began to float. From those boxes leaped out innumerable scripts springing forth, and they floated and began to twirl around me. Please pick the role you desire, and I'll give you that role. Really? Any role? Yes, any role. A hero who topples evil, a heroine who receives whispers of love. If you wish it, I'll give you the role of a dog, a cat, or even a tree in the background. Countless wondrous scripts passed in front of Midori. Any script, any role. She couldn't contain her excitement. Please, choose only one. With that, we'll make our contract. Contract? It may have already come to your attention, but I am not human. Rather, I take a little off the top of fragments of souls of all you humans. A little off the top of fragments of souls of all you humans. God, these fucking long-ass sentences. I am a creature that ekes out a living on what is given to me. Midori quickly realized it. No matter what role, in exchange for granting a single wish, he was saying it was a contract in exchange for her soul. Oh, it seems you've misunderstood me. I am most certainly not a god of death. A contract with me doesn't mean you would be giving me your life in exchange. Just a tiny sliver of your soul. I'd take just enough to nibble on. Since it'd be so little, you wouldn't even be able to notice. So please don't worry. Yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit on that. The man said with a smile. From a smile like that, she couldn't sense any danger of giving her life away. See, the problem here is he's giving her this idea that he's only going to take a little bit and he'll give her everything. But you know that smarmy pricks like this are not like that at all. Midori made her decision without hesitation. Repeating her days like this, she was slowly being killed with the passing of each day. So she would make the contract with him. Cutting off something, offering a piece of her soul, seemed a much better option than being slowly killed. Wonderful. I respect the strength of your spirit. Of course, you will take the contract. Take this precious opportunity, take advantage of it, and start a whole new life. You will make the best of tonight's miracle, and you will be born again. Occasionally, I've had the mystical experience of being on stage affect my real life. That's right. For me, this isn't a miracle that's just for a role in a play. This is a chance to change myself, change my life, and change my fate. He gave me that chance, but I am the one taking it. I will take it and change. So I chose my role. What should I call you? That's right. Well, since I do love tea, you may refer to me as the Black Tea Gentleman. I like that title. Name, title, label, whatever. So the Black Tea Gentleman kept his promise. For the next play, I was chosen for the lead role. The girl who was playing the part had a big fight with the club president and ran out of the club. Since I could take up her role in the performance by chance, I carefully read her script. So until a real substitute was found, although it was temporary, I hadn't been selected for any major roles before. I never stopped wanting it, the sweet, sweet role of the princess. That someone like me was chosen to fill a sudden opening in a last-minute emergency. My teacher, even the club president, no one expected it. But I thrust all of my soul into that role. Into that once-in-a-lifetime chance that the Black Tea Gentleman gave to me. No, it was because I knew it was my only chance that I gave it everything I had. In practice and on stage, my mind was empty. I don't mean empty as if my mind went blank from nervousness. I mean it was as if everything about me, everything inside of me, had been hollowed out and everything had been used up. Everything was a dream. I have no memory of what happened until the curtain dropped. But when everything was over, I returned to my senses. I was surrounded by cheers and roaring applause. I don't know what happened. I was caught wide-eyed and confused in the dazzling spotlight, and I have no idea what happened. The club president who was playing the lead took my hand and asked for an encore. At that moment, I finally realized and experienced it. On that stage, my part as the princess was a massive success. Black Tea Gentleman. You did wonderful. I've been watching from here for some time. In the shadows behind the curtain, the Black Tea Gentleman had been applauding for a while as well. I had the best role, and it's all thanks to you. Yes, I gave you the best role that you wanted. However, the role was played through your strength. Receiving roaring cheers was most befitting your wondrous talents. I'm happy. It was so bright, I couldn't see anything. You've already been reborn. You got your chance and took it. You mustn't forget that strength. And since you've cleared your past life, you'll be much better for it, wouldn't you say? I will not forget. I will never forget this feeling. And do not forget our contract either. The Black Tea Gentleman said with a smile, and with those words, he disappeared. Even if she were to be killed by having her soul torn from her right now, right there, it no longer mattered, because she was on top of the world. The miraculous choice, the miraculous princess. From that day forward, she was called Princess Midori. She was admired by the girls at school and became well respected. Summer vacation ended and a new semester began. As if that semester had never happened, the bullying of Midori stopped entirely. Those that had once bullied her, everyone acted almost as if it had never happened. They fussed over Midori, called her princess, and gave her praise. At first she thought everyone was a little inconsistent. And yet, on the other hand, it didn't feel bad to be respected and loved. It was then that a feeling of delight began to take hold of her. She decided that she wouldn't flaunt her wealth anymore. Just like that princess, she would become sweet, kind, a beautiful princess with a heart loved by all. From that chance on stage, I was reborn. And even now, no one remembers what happened that semester anymore. As for the boys, their faces turned bright red just from seeing me walk past them. And the girls adore me and want to call me their friend. Based on how I act, everyone is moved to joy or sorrow. It's as if my casual actions are treated like those of a celebrity, and I've started to become a legend at school. Midori-chan is awesome. She's so cute. I want to be just like her. Princess Midori is so sweet. It would be so nice if she would call my name just once and smile. I wonder if Princess Midori is going to do another performance. Better keep an eye on that drama club. All right, lesson time. Don't get excited. And don't forget what you've learned. I really misjudged Kusunoki's true potential. I have no excuse for how I've acted lately. It's fine, club president. I'm also going to do my best at practice. It's a voice. It's fine, club president. I'm also going to do my best at practice, and I'm going to work hard to become an even better actress. Ha! Tell me about it. That's our Princess Midori. How come we never noticed there was such a wonderful girl like her in our class before? In the classroom and in the clubroom, voices of praise washed over Midori. Those voices gave Midori self-confidence and courage. And so, without being conceited, Midori strived at practice. Most of all, she changed her heart so she could become someone loved by all. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a fucking drink. I've returned with a drink, so hopefully I'll be able to keep a more consistent and better tone of voice. Though keep in mind I am still ill, so she could become someone loved by all. If one's heart changes, that changes the body as well. Her slumped shoulders that had always hung her head in shame suddenly lifted and straightened, and her posture became exquisite. Even her voice held a dignified tone, and those that heard her voice couldn't help but turn their heads and to listen. Her face also changed beautifully, making onlookers want to sigh. She was already a different person from the first semester. She had truly been reborn. Even today, Midori is working hard in the club activities. I would say at the club, whatever. She's running around the courtyard building her endurance. Each time the other club members see Midori, they throw out their hands and cheer. I am truly happy. Like so, Midori became the princess loved by all. This is really building her up high. It's going to be a tragic fall, isn't it? Yep. It seems that humans can change from just this one little chance. Under cover of the school building, nobody could see a teacup tip back. Oh, it's him. Oh, Midori-san. Remember, this is a give and take, so please don't forget that. No, I think... No. These are weird laughs. No, please don't forget that. And once again, he took a sip from the teacup. That'll be all. The teacup. The teacher clapped his hands together. I ceased my performance as the witch. In the brief silence, the teacher and the club leader nodded wordlessly. Congratulations, Kusunoki-san. We have decided that you will play the leading part in Rokkenjima. Thank you. Everybody, take a good look at Kusunoki's performance and strive to improve yourselves as well. Yes! Well, that's the entire class going, hi! Yep. Midori, congratulations on getting the witch's role. A warm applause began to spread. If one claps with all their might, wouldn't their hands hurt? Yep, I fucking hate it. This applause was so big it might cause one to worry thus. To think that lovely Princess Midori will take on the role of a mysterious witch this time. It sounds like it'll get an incredible reaction. Of course. With Princess Midori at the lead, it'll be huge. It will be the talk of the town. The performance sounds so incredibly exciting. Wow! Wow! I'm already getting nervous. 'We should make sure we don't hold her back, too. In the applause, with a feeling like being on a runaway train, I returned to my seat. Last time I was chosen due to a sudden resignation, but this time is different. I got the role with my own power. It may be by just one step, but it's one that I've definitely overcome. It was that feeling of accomplishment. At the moment I sat down, enveloped by everyone's applause. Once again, I met Nozomi Kawada's gaze. Even though everyone was blessing me with their full smiles, she was the only exception. She just stared at me. I couldn't read what kind of emotions those eyes had. I only knew that it was not a feeling of celebration. It was as if I was gazing upon myself from my first semester. It forced me to remember the anxiety and uneasiness. Why is she always watching me with such disgust in her eyes? I know. She's jealous of me, isn't she? Even though she once was pampered as a princess, now she is hated and bullied for being proud, rich, and haughty. I understood her pain so well it hurt, because that was who I used to be. But you know, Kawada-san, humans can change. You are my former self. Even I, with just one chance, was able to transform so much, it was as though I was reborn. I'm sure you can too. Your chance will come someday. Suddenly, without warning, I was struck with pain again. A severe pain in my foot, one that caused me to unconsciously contort my body. Hey, Midori, are you okay? You don't look so good. I'm fine. You should go to the nurse. I'll escort you there. Everyone was concerned about Midori's health. This mysterious sudden pain that keeps happening to me. This might be a good opportunity. I'll try getting it looked at in the infirmary. It has to be because I'm so nervous. Most people would get a stomachache. I must be the type that gets pains all over. If I relax, I should be okay. I'll get the nurse's seal of approval, then I'll be able to do my best again. While leaning on the club member's shoulder, she headed towards the infirmary. Oh, the infirmary. Oh, the doll is there. It doesn't look like there's anything particularly wrong. The school nurse put it bluntly. The pain in her foot had completely disappeared when she'd come to the infirmary. There seems to be nothing wrong, so you shouldn't have sudden pains like that. If it keeps happening all the time, you should get checked out in a real hospital. No, I'm fine. I think I'm just the type who feels pain when I get nervous or wear myself out. Her friends made a big deal about it. Midori apologized, saying she was sorry for causing the commotion. She did not want to go to the hospital. If she really did have a terrible illness, she might not be able to go to the performance. Since she'd just been chosen as the lead role, that was the one thing she absolutely couldn't accept. Once she said she was fine, the nurse couldn't do anything else for her. Strange things happen sometimes, and with that, she held a pencil between her nose and upper lip and tilted her head. Nothing particularly wrong. Those words relieved Midori, but wondering what the true reason was for the pain caused her mind to wander. Before, the pain would come once every 10 days. However, little by little, she got the feeling they had become more frequent. Even though the pain used to hurt only when it was touched, or would just be a dull pain, lately the pain had become more frequent and intense enough that her face would show it. From here on, in preparation for the performance, she must focus on practicing more and more. But still, if the strange pain gets worse and worse, it's definitely going to interfere. It's something you don't need to worry about. You don't have the time to become so preoccupied with pain. Oh, for fuck's sake. Black tea gentleman. Have you forgotten about the concentration you'll need on stage? You must focus on your performance and perfect your character. It's foolish to pay attention to such pain, is it not? Don't worry about the pain. The black tea gentleman is always saying that. Certainly, if even I worry about it, it's still as he says. In the end, my ability to concentrate isn't enough. Think only of the stage, and if I give my undivided attention to practice, then I shouldn't pay this pain any mind. After Midori gave her consent, she bowed her head to the nurse and left the infirmary. While the black tea gentleman watched her go, he sipped his black tea. Is that so? You're feeling those pains more often. That is a dilemma, isn't it? Leaving only a laugh no human could hear, the black tea gentleman disappeared. I was saying it was bullshit. That fucking sipping of the soul or something. There's probably some sort of like ongoing affliction. It was something no human could hear. So someone who wasn't human heard it. Oh, it's you, Marie. I was assuming it would be Higanbana. She stays in the infirmary after all. From the cover of a medicine shelf, Marie's face timidly peeked out. In her hand, she gripped chestnut-steamed buns that may have been taken from the staff room or elsewhere. After finding these delicious buns, she brought them to the infirmary to share with Higanbana over tea. How did Marie find them, you ask? After she died, Marie discovered she had the miraculous power to home in on buns. Keep finding powers, Marie. I'm really enjoying the fact that in death you're living better than you lived in life. Higanbana was gone. In her place, she saw the figure of a man she was not familiar with. I wonder. Oh, sorry, this is Marie. I wonder, that person just now was... Her otherworldly senses told her that the black tea gentleman was the same as she. A yōkai? It looked to her that he was haunting the girl who had just left. Practice began on Rokkenjima the following week, which was even more difficult than imagined. First, above all else, there were a lot of lines. Yeah, tell me about it. The leading part's lines were of an incredible volume, so to call it a one-man show wouldn't have been an exaggeration. Memorizing them was hard enough. Then she had to understand the meaning of each and every word and place an emotion to it. Yeah, that's the hard part about this narration. I am literally reading this as it's being brought up in front of my screen, so I'm having to improvise. This is a really interesting skill that we're developing here. Just one scene alone needed a considerable amount of concentration. If she were to be out of sync with a partner even once, one line may be left out or a prop may be used the wrong way. Come on, Kusunoki-san. You can't just give a performance with your body. You have to give it from your heart. Do it over again. Midori is so amazing. She remembers all those good lines so well. What a tough role. If anybody but Princess Midori did it, it would be impossible. Though the club members all praised Midori's performance as brilliant, the teacher was relentless. Of course, in order to live up to those expectations, Midori practiced with everything she had. Before, she was not good at training or flexibility, even if she said it was for her favorite play. But now, she isn't bothered by it at all. The deep emotion of that day on the stage was vividly burned into her memory. In order to obtain that excitement once more, she was able to withstand any excruciating exercise. The sweat that flowed from Midori was transparent and glistening. Whew! She took a breath and wiped away the sweat. In the corner of the clubroom, she caught sight of Nozomi Kawada fixing a tear in a costume. She wasn't able to obtain a role this time either. Just as everyone expected, she was forced into being in charge of all the odd jobs. Vocal warm-ups and stretching, she wasn't good at anything. Just as always, she was darkly isolated, and sometimes she would glare at me with envy. Kawada-san, being jealous won't change anything, you know. If you do that and reluctantly do the work pushed onto you, nothing will change. Because even I was once in charge of miscellaneous jobs. I was made to work until late at night making small props. But I didn't give up my dream. I would secretly read the script and drove all of the princess's lines into my mind. In the gloomy clubroom with nobody around, I faced the mirror and practiced for hours and hours by myself. Because of that, I was able to live up to my chance selection for the role. I was envious of everyone, but I worked hard and gave it my all. You have to give it your all, or you can't seize your chance. I grasped mine. That's why I won't let it go. With all my strength, I will carry out my role. Nozomi lifted her face. Our eyes met. Those eyes were empty, and like always, I couldn't tell what she was thinking. But today was different. I felt that something made me shiver just a little. She was calling to me. Her eyes seemed to say, "Me? It's not like I'm just jealous." Next to Nozomi, the script of Rokkenjima was lying upside down. I didn't think the script was needed to repair tears in costumes. It's this piece of music! She was not only just jealous, she was watching me. She was lying in wait. Her eyes seemed to say there was none suitable but her, that I should abandon the role of the witch. If, just before the play, I perhaps were to fall ill and suddenly drop out, there wouldn't be anyone else to stand in for the part. She's anticipating my downfall, lying in wait, reading the script until I am out of her way. I see. So that's what it is. Without anything to base it on, Midori understood. The mysterious pain increasing daily. Surely this was something like Nozomi Kawada's curse. If I suddenly dropped the role of the princess, she could get the main role. So she is hoping I will suddenly drop out. Perhaps her eyes were trying to say, if Midori Kusanagi did it, there shouldn't be any reason I can't do it too. That blank expression, her gaze made me uncomfortable just by looking towards her. Without a doubt, she must be the one sending me those strange pains. Midori? Are you okay? Ah, my friend called, and I returned to myself. To think that Kawada-san is sending me a curse and causing my pains. Now I'm starting to imagine strange things. I wonder if I'm just tired. Although, I was given this power by the mysterious black tea gentleman who revealed himself to me. It might not be that strange if she was something mysterious too. If she has, is what I was thinking. Whatever. Yes, it's just as the black tea gentleman said. If I worry about it, it's over. It doesn't matter if she's after my role. I am the perfect person for the role of the witch, so I'm the one dealing with the performance. Everything is my own personal problem. If I worry, I will mess up. And with that, the time to be afraid of Nozomi Kawada's ominous gaze was over. While she worked towards the performance, her days of energetic practice continued. She deemed no exercise unworthy of her time, and that time passed in the blink of an eye. It would always be night by the time the club ended, and she went home. She would finish her dinner in a hurry, splatter into bed like mud, and sleep. That was how her daily cycle went. It was difficult on the body. Every day was satisfying and productive. That pain, if it weren't for that pain, the time between days that she would experience the mysterious pain became shorter. Midori? What's the matter? It's nothing. Sorry. On the contrary, she felt suspicious that the frequency had become excessive. She had already been to the infirmary about the matter once. If she were to panic, she might have to drop her role. By pretending that she had to go to the bathroom, she was alone again. That intense pain was the same as always. Just as always, though it seemed like there would be a visible cause, there wasn't a scratch on her. I've had enough. I shook off the thought once, but just as I thought, maybe this is Nozomi Kawada's curse. because the pain is always restricted to when I'm at school. Furthermore, I've also considered that the times I've felt it while I'm near Nozomi Kawada have increased. Also, when I have this pain, if I turn around, her gaze will be on me. Just like I thought. You think I'll give up and lose? Like I'll let that happen? I will definitely be in that play. There's no way I'll step down. I will never let go of my once-in-a-lifetime chance. Sorry, but there's no way I'll ever hand this over to you, Kawada-san. There's not many days left until the performance. It's not something to worry about. You don't really have the time to let it tear you apart, do you? The black tea gentleman kept repeating that. It's not something to worry about. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's no way I'll give up over this bizarre pain. But the riddle of my curse that's eating away at me is not just limited to pain. It was one day during lunchtime. Once I'd received my curry from the lunch lady and returned to my seat, Sakie, Fumie, and all the other people I surround myself with simultaneously gathered. An enjoyable lunch surrounded by friends. It was a familiar scene. Princess, are you okay? You've been looking pretty pale lately. Really? It's just your imagination. Don't worry about it. You've been practicing almost every day, haven't you? Try not to push yourself, all right? But I just can't wait to see Midori on the stage as the lead. It's this weekend, right? Good luck, Midori. It seemed that the curse of my pain was wearing me out. I hadn't intended it to show through my mannerisms, but it seemed that Sakie and the others who were always around me could tell. If their princess had fallen ill, everyone would cause an uproar. If that happened, word would reach the drama club, and the teacher and club leader would hear about it. It's no laughing matter. I won't ever step down. I'm the one who will stand in the middle of the stage, bathing in the spotlight during this play. I will never lose to a curse or to Nozomi Kawada. Hey, did you watch yesterday's Sea Cats anime? I did. I didn't miss a thing. The voices were so good, weren't they? Ono-san is just the best. That has to be a reference to Daisuke Ono, who does the voice of Battler in the anime and the game as well, yeah. Speaking of which, all the voice actors were incredible, huh? Hey, Midori, who do you like? Huh? Oh, yeah. Since I don't get home until late, I didn't get to see most of it. Because I practice so late every day, by the time I go home, the broadcast is already long over. I like the show, but I'm not interested in it at all right now. I have to concentrate on the performance. Showing that they understood my exhaustion from my daily practice, Sakie and the rest left me alone and kept their excitement among themselves. As I absent-mindedly listened, I mechanically transported some school lunch to my lips. The taste of cheap curry filled the inside of my mouth. Oh man, I could go for cheap curry. I had no appetite for food, and even eating a mouthful took a long time. But I had to eat, even if it was against my own free will. Starting this week, we would wear the clothes for our parts every day while practicing. If I don't eat, then my body won't be able to handle it. At that moment, it was that pain again. This time, it was the back of her head. It hurt like someone just struck her violently. Even if she turned around, no one would be there, so she didn't even turn around to check. Rather, she glared at Kawada Nozomi's back. How frustrating. I have no evidence. However, it has to be Kawada-san's fault. I know it. But if I let it get to me, I'll lose it. For her, using this kind of curse to disturb me is the best she can do. I won't give my role up to someone like you. I'll never give up. Never. As she was biting her lower lip, she turned her gaze back to her lunch. When she did, the curry lunch began to sway and blur. It didn't seem to be the steam or anything like that. Tired eyes, perhaps? It felt like that. I rubbed my hazy eyes, and I stared at something that made me feel uncomfortable. Just now, I was eating the school's curry lunch, but now, swirling, it had these black things mixed in. What the hell? Did it float from the bottom? There's no way, but... In that curry were countless dead insects. This sound effect is from Umineko as well, and man, it actually gets something in my spine. Ah! Ugh! The sudden shock nearly made her choke. On top of the curry, without a doubt, those things were scattered about. It was impossible for someone to pull a prank while I was staring at Kawada-san, and there was no way these things were just floated up from the bottom of my curry. There's just no way. Before my very eyes, they warped into existence. The glistening backs of their lustrous black husks, knotted legs, hair like feelers. They were mixed with the brown curry sauce and the white rice in a gruesome display. Gripping my spoon, I had been drawing from the bowl for some time. Just moments ago, I had been driving my utensils into curry, but now there wasn't just curry on them. My fork and spoon were now thickly encrusted and stuck with black bugs, and there were a variety of indescribable colors composing the bodily fluids and the guts that flowed out from them. I was about to throw up everything I had eaten, and I frantically covered my mouth. It wasn't just because of what I was seeing in front of me that had caused my queasiness. Inside what I had ate just now, I sensed they had mixed in there as well. Hey, are you alright? What's wrong, Midori? Are you sick? Sakie and the others noticed Midori's behavior, and they uneasily called out to her. I knew it. Those girls don't see what's wrong with this curry. It's the same as the pain. It's a curse that only I can sense. What's the matter? Black tea gentleman, are you seeing this? I have only one thing to tell you. Don't worry about it. Exactly. The black tea gentleman snickers as if it was someone else's problem. He sees it. He's also seeing this terrifying curry. At that moment, in my mind, the puzzle pieces came together, and a detestable idea took shape in my mind. You're the black tea gentleman, right? Oh my, whatever are you talking about? Please don't act like a fool. That strange pain, this curry, isn't this all you're doing? My oh my, how unfortunate. Why do you think I'll do things like that? Am I not on your side? Sure, I do think you're on my side. But for some reason, is there another girl who is on your side? Oh my. What do you mean by that, I wonder? In the drama club, just as you offered your power to me when we met, you met with Kawada-san. You lent her some kind of power, didn't you? I see. In order to get the lead role, Kawada-san entrusts me with causing you to resign. I see, I see. The black tea gentleman smiles widely. Until now, although I had thought of him as my benefactor, he was an incomprehensible supernatural being. He had given his power to me on a whim, and he was never on my side from the very beginning. Midori-san, that is a very upsetting thought. But if that's not it, then what is it? Midori-san, I am your ally. Therefore, I'll always be here with you like this. You might just be clinging to me for the sake of Kawada-san's curse. I am your ally, and even if you won't lend me your ears to hear it, I'll say the same thing. Don't worry about it. Indeed. Aside from that, I have no intents of telling you anything otherwise. Even if strange things happen, you're saying I should dedicate myself to practice without giving it a thought. If weird things like this keep happening, there's no way I can concentrate. Then you'll stop practicing and give the lead role to Kawada-san. I won't let that happen. I am the lead. The role is mine. I will be the one. Well said. Exactly. You are the lead. It will go to no one else. Just what are you thinking? I can't tell. Midori flew up from her seat. Her wildness startled everyone, but Midori didn't care. Recklessly taking up her school lunch tray, she threw it in the garbage, silverware and all. And with that, she flew out of the classroom. Dear, oh dear. So very young. The black tea gentleman shrugged his shoulders and laughed. Something strange caught his eye. Midori, who roughly flew out her chair and out the classroom. Steam or smoke trailed out from her body and hung in the air like steam or incense. That was something only a supernatural being could see. The black tea gentleman gently held his teacup in the air, and that smoke-like entity slowly gathered and began to fill his cup. And as that swirl wound itself, it turned brown. It became a delicious black tea with a pleasant fragrance. He took a sip and smiled peacefully. It truly tastes of innocence. Midori-san, your soul will truly make a delightfully fragrant tea. Midori ran towards the clubroom. It was still lunch break. She wanted to practice. She wanted the theatre. She wanted to be someone else. She flew into the clubroom. She was separated from the line and file of the classroom. The hustle and bustle of lunch break was far away, and that made her feel a bit better. Midori headed straight for the costume storeroom in the clubroom. Then she took the dress of the lead role in her arms. Regardless of the fact that it was still lunch break, she began changing her clothes. I am the lead actress. I am the lead actress. I won't let anyone else. I won't let anyone else. She took off her favorite dress. Just then, looking at herself reflected in the mirror, Midori's heart stopped. What is this? On both her exposed arms, something that looked like a moth was stuck. A vivid something. Was it paint? Thinking that, she drew her face nearer. What the hell is this? It was a bruise. Not just one or two. Red, blue, purple, vibrant bruises were stuck all over her arms. Her arms began to shake. What is this? The parts that were hidden by her clothes, on her back, on her stomach. Countless bruises. Traces of internal bleeding. What? What is this? This? In the silent room, Midori's screams resounded. A teacup floating in the corner of the clubroom tipped with a slurp. Due to the shock on her peace of mind, it seemed like Midori couldn't see the black tea gentleman's form. It's nothing to worry about, Midori-san. But then again, even if he were to speak of it, it seems it wouldn't reach anyone's ears. Leave that girl alone. Oh my. In front of the black tea gentleman, Marie slowly showed herself. She glared at the black tea gentleman with a perceptive gaze. If it isn't our 8th ranking school yōkai, Meso Marie. A yōkai. You're one too. Indeed. We are in the same trade. I am a being who survives by receiving a modest portion of a human soul. Midori Kusunoki is a hard worker, a girl with a beautiful heart. Even now, she is endeavoring with all her might for the play. Yes, I acknowledge that more than anyone. Is it fun to bully that girl? Now that's a misunderstanding. How am I bullying Midori-san? You're consuming her soul. That's what you're hunting. It's only a little bit, right? Unlike the greedy school yōkai, it is not to my liking to steal one's life. Yes, so let's leave it at this. Please, leave her alone. Leave her alone? I have been watching her this whole time. Please, is this Marie talking? I think it's Marie talking. I have been watching her this whole time. This bizarre curse has been getting worse day by day and has driven her into a corner. All she wants is to give the greatest performance at the play. Your curse is preventing that. The reason she worries about pain and the like is due to none other than her lack of concentration. If she were truly concentrating on a performance, there would be nothing else on her mind. I'll say it one more time. Please let Midori-san go. I can't do that. She is my prey. Then, I'll ask that you abide by the school yokai's rules. Rules? Well then, for ones who despise any kind of shackles like us, what rules? We can make anyone our prey, and we can take anyone's prey. I see. Yokai certainly do follow that one rule, don't we? As if to say, you've got me there, the black tea gentleman's shoulders shook with laughter. I understand that yokai are under the circumstances where we must consume souls to live. Therefore, if you depart now, I will not exacerbate this. Marie's strong will shot through the black tea gentleman just with her gaze. This is a problem. Being threatened by Meso-san of the 8th seat of school yokai. A puny yokai with no ranking like myself will surely be no match for you. I don't want to do this, and I'm sure you don't want this to be done to you. However, I think giving up Midori-san right here would be truly regrettable, considering she makes such brilliant tea leaves. I know. As a fellow yokai, I don't intend to settle this through talking. How strong. I would never have thought you were a bullied child once. It is because I once was bullied. I understand people's hearts more than anyone else. You are consuming that hard-working girl. I have no intentions of letting you, the man who toys with their struggles, get away with it. I've heard Meso-san is a yokai who demonstrates her true worth from behind a door. Right now, I am in the 8th ranked seat of school yokai. I will destroy you with my bare hands. At some point, the steam from the black tea gentleman's cup had filled the entire clubroom. Rather than a mist, it was as if from the teacup countless arms of fog had sprung up. They were swaying, glaring at Marie like reptiles. They attacked. Those countless arms of mist leapt at Marie. They coiled around her and constricted her. The black tea gentleman laughed with a huff. Was it because he settled things so quickly? No. He realized it. Even if she was temporarily in that rank, he was up against the 8th ranked school yokai. There was no way he could take her down using attacks like that. The arms of mist that were constricting Marie all around were shuddering. And, as though tearing them apart from within, one by one, she tore them to shreds. Meso-san appears to be a yokai with superhuman strength. I see. What a dreadful power. With a violent sound like tearing apart a cocoon from within, the arms of mist were dispatched. The figure of Marie was seen once more. Marie displayed a presence befitting of one representing the school's lowest seat of power among the yokai. I still do not understand my own power. If you try to stop me, I won't be able to hold back. From Marie's body, a heavy chill gushed out and covered the floor. But her arms were as heavy as lead, and they were so large they seemed like tree trunks. I suppose that didn't work. Well then, let's continue until something does. The black tea gentleman raised his hand, and a snake of mist twined around, and sharpened like a lance. Oh my, I hear some footsteps coming closer. If we go on, more humans than I am comfortable with will be here. Allow me to settle this with this one blow. Indeed, someone's footsteps were nearing. They were coming closer, directly to this clubroom. That was to be the countdown for their duel. The instant the club's sliding door was thrown open, Marie and the black tea gentleman crossed paths with a flash like lightning. I see. Accept your defeat. I'm really struggling to hold back. How frightening that this is you going easy. With a roar like the sound of thunder, the black tea gentleman's body was knocked off his feet by her strong arms. He was blown clear across the room and strewn against the furthest wall. The black tea gentleman said, "A splendid strike," and gave a thumbs up as he spoke. I like that. At the same time, a small breaking sound. It was to signify that the black tea gentleman's power had been broken, and Midori had been set free. While letting out a sigh of relief, Marie drew back the power in both her fists. What are you doing here? The one who entered the clubroom was Nozomi Kawada. And she scowled at Midori, who was standing in front of the mirror in a dress. Kawada-san. What, you think you can just wear someone's costume? What? Nozomi Kawada looked down on Midori with eyes so cold it caused her to shiver. Come on. Oh, come on. Hurry up and take it off. Midori was bewildered. Certainly Nozomi had appeared suddenly, but honestly, from the bottom of her heart, she could not comprehend what she was saying. Someone's costume? What does that mean, someone's costume? I mean, this is my dress. This is my costume as the main role. What are you spacing out for? Did you get hit on the head too many times and lose it or something? Kawada-san snapped at me in such strict tone of voice. This girl, was it really even like her to speak so bluntly? I thought she could only silently stare at me in jealousy. I said, hurry up, take it off. Your stink is going to stick to it. The only time you can touch my stuff is when you're doing your job as the chore girl. Chore girl? Isn't that Kawada-san's job? I'm the lead. I said take it off. It's 1,000 years too early for some moody girl like you to wear the costume of the lead actress. What are you saying? The one who doesn't fucking understand is you. Strip, damn it. Kawada-san suddenly lunged at me. I fell over and rolled. I hit my head hard on the edge of the wooden toolbox. That instant, something snapped. It wasn't her skull. It was something by her chest. Something deep inside had cleanly broken. The black tea gentleman had said he would grant one wish, that he would give her any one role she wanted. The role Midori had chosen was not the princess. The role she chose was... Truths from deep in the crevices of her mind began to come out, one after another. Not the pretend acting, but the truth flows. It was almost like watching a movie on rewind. Memories of the past were clearly resurrected. From the lies that covered it came the real truth. It's morning. I enter the classroom and my classmates look at me. They laugh as they draw near. It wasn't because they wanted to greet me with love and respect. It was to hit me. They'd come and gather while laughing and beat me and sneer. You brought your homework, Sakie would say. And then she'd give me her notebook and I would take it, so I could copy my homework in a notebook. While I was copying, Sakie would take out a ruler and beat my arms. Fumie would throw indoor slippers at my face. Even though I was doing their homework, they treated me terribly. After school, the club leader said to me after he got into the clubroom, "Kusunoki, you've been late quite a bit lately." I was delayed because I had to change clothes. That was the excuse I gave. The gym outfit I was wearing was covered in stains. It smelled just as if it had been pulled out of a garbage bin. As I looked for a place to stretch, everyone said, "You stink," and moved away from me. When they left me, it created a vast distance of space. As I started to stretch my shoulders, the club members began kicking me, one after another. I could hear the club girls' whispers. I would hate being a chore girl. This time there's a ton of props and whatnot. Don't worry about it. Look, we have a girl who'll do everything for all of us, by herself. Then look at me. Many cruel smiles spread. It wasn't as if I was given the position. Since when did I become the eternal chore girl? Next, Nozomi Kawada-san. Here, Nozomi Kawada. I want to be the witch. She splendidly announced her candidacy for the role of lead actress of Rokkenjima. Everyone applauded their blessings. It could only be Princess Nozomi. Nozomi, do your best. I looked at everyone's backs. I was the only one who wasn't cheering. One after another, the roles were being decided. I had the courage to announce my candidacy for all sorts of roles, but acting is hard, and I was told my facial expressions were all wrong, so I couldn't get any role. In the end, just as I expected, I was the chore girl. Since you kept stupidly nominating yourself, you wasted everyone's time. The role that best suits you is taking care of the odd jobs. That being said, we're out of here. Good luck, eternal chore girl. Don't ever nominate yourself again, you hear? It's annoying, they said as they kicked my back, putting countless shoe stains on the back of my gym outfit. After the meeting, I was the only person left in the club. I worked on props and sewing clothes. During that time, I'd secretly read Rokkenjima's script and practiced the lines for the role of the witch. This practice started small at first, but it gradually grew larger. Before long, secretly, I began wearing the lead's dress and put on the entire rehearsal by myself. I had no partner, but I could see them, I could hear them. So every day I would return home in the complete darkness of night. The anime Sea Cats was already long since over. So I'd tumble into bed and turn on my side, empty my mind, and slept like a sack of potatoes. Time for lunch. Some horrible person put dead bugs in my curry. They sat around me in a circle so they wouldn't be seen by the teacher. They were watching me to see if I would eat it or not. Fumie was always hitting me in the back of the head with the tray while I kept quiet. It hurt. Hurry up and eat, you haughty, rich, snobby princess. Aren't you happy? It's a special curry made just for you, Midori. Since you're so rich, you get special menu. Look, eat it. It's good for your health, seriously. Nothing about the bullying towards me had changed since my first semester. Nothing. Nothing. In the middle of it all, Nozomi Kawada was a princess. With the role of the princess, she was fussed over and very popular all over school. I was envious, jealous. She was always on the center of the stage. So when the black tea gentleman asked what kind of role I wanted to play, I answered him. I said I wanted to be Nozomi Kawada. The back of my head filled with blood as she slowly stained the witch's dress with blood. Midori slowly stood up, and she leaned against the wall. She saw the black tea gentleman, who seemed to be in anguish. I want to become Nozomi Kawada. Yes, I know. I want to be called princess. I want to be loved. Even in the drama club, I want to earn a spectacular role and bathe in the spotlight of the center stage. Make me her. Make me Nozomi Kawada. Yes, you can become her. As long as you keep acting, you can always, from henceforth, become Nozomi Kawada. But something is wrong. Something is wrong. Everyone is bullying me. Even Kawada-san is wrong. They're saying this dress isn't mine. They're saying I'm the chore girl. Midori-san, please don't worry. Don't worry. Please act as if you were Nozomi Kawada-san. Don't pay heed to anything or listen to anyone. You must focus on acting. Just as you call Kawada-san Princess Nozomi, you too shall be called Princess Midori. You will bathe in the love of your classmates. Even Sakie-san and Fumie-san will become close to you. You'll be showered with praise and always selected for the lead roles in the drama club. That I could... Me, a princess. Princess Midori. Midori's world began to dim little by little. Even though it was still daytime, Midori's world began turning dark. It's only natural. The top of the stage is dim, and with a striking person bathed in the sharp spotlight, their figure stands out. There she stood, Midori's figure, clad in the dress of the lead actress. At the end of the supreme climax for the play Rockinjima, she would monopolize a grand cheer and applause. See? I can hear it. I'm hearing it. The applause, the cheers, the praises of everyone's voices calling me princess. What's with this girl? Nozomi Kawada was dumbfounded. Midori faced the mirror and began deeply bowing to herself. Look at this face. Oh, is she just imagining everything? Oh my god, what the fuck? Then she seemingly reached out to take someone's hand. The black tea gentleman took that hand. Marie was also watching this spectacle in bewilderment. That's how it is. Meso Marie-san. Am I still such a hindrance to Midori-san? Marie was at a loss for words. She could say nothing in return. I am a yōkai that allows one to believe lies. When you hear the word lie, you can only think it's wrong, correct? However, it's the same with painkillers or anesthetics. Isn't there some pain that must be forgotten in order to keep living? This is how I relieved this girl of her pain. Marie, you're out of your league. Leave it at that. Oh, this is... Yeah, I knew it. Hang on. Right, let's try this. Marie, you're out of your league. Leave it at that. Higanbana-san. There was no telling when she arrived, but Higanbana was there. Furthermore, Midori Kusunoki was my prey. Huh? Someone so proud of her money that she was hated in her class and bullied. That sounded like a delicious soul to my taste. Then this guy snatched it away. If Midori-san hadn't been my prey, well, listen to what Higanbana-san said just now. She would have probably had her life toyed with. Humans have the right to run away from harsh realities, and if you think of it as granting the person involved a happy dream, is that not a beautiful thing? How sophisticated. Humans live in reality. If one runs away, they will have to pay for it dearly one day. That's correct, isn't it? Once they return to reality, they will have to pay for it. However, if they do not come back, they'd be fine never paying it back. Is that what happiness is to her? If you were once bullied, then you would want to sympathize with how she feels right now. If you have no more complaints, Marie, that girl is his prey. Let's go, Marie. He's not someone you can oppose anyway. The man... who's saying this? The man used the name Black Tea Gentleman, but just who on earth is he? He does not have a rank in the 8 seats of school yōkai. However, he has a real ability. Well, perhaps he would be about the 2nd rank in the shadows? He's the headmaster's right-hand man. We call him Vice Principal. God damn it. The 1st rank of the school yōkai, the headmaster's right-hand man, the Vice Principal. A fearsome yōkai who holds the power to make lies reality. However, lies are lies. Once one realizes it's a lie, no matter how believable it is, it can be nothing else but a lie. But his power is extremely tempting, and surely no human can resist it. This is what the headmaster's underling is capable of. The power of the shadow 2nd-ranked yōkai spoken of in whispers. You flatter me. I am nothing but a nameless yōkai. Let's go, Marie. This is what Midori Kusunoki wished for. Unable to face reality, wishing for a world of lies, she refuses to pay the price. That girl is still the princess of a beautiful world. Since every day should be happy, she would never possibly think of suicide. Pity, she's no longer my type of soul. Higanbana turned around and then disappeared. Marie was speechless and watched the black tea gentleman and Midori's encore. Nozomi Kawada was also at a loss for words, and Midori's eyes could no longer see anyone. But reflected in those eyes was an auditorium full of spectators. Thank you, everyone! Thank you, everyone! I offer this stage to everyone who has loved me. Thank you so much. Forever and ever. Oh, fuck. Forever and ever. The thunderous applause and cheering continued to praise her. Okay, that was a pretty short one. It was also really fucked up. Okay, I quite like that one. Very interesting. A bit unsatisfying because, well, nothing was resolved by the end of it. I mean, Midori is still just in her own delusions. But oh well, I suppose it was a case study. Ooh, the Shrine of the Guardian Deity. I suppose that will be next. So we will see you guys next time.